Hello, this is Dr. Dennis Saccuzzo again, and what we're doing is going through the subjects to look at the set of issues that are repeatedly tested so that you can be specifically prepared for the issues that will appear. Now, we're on to crimes, which is criminal law, criminal procedure. There are three basic patterns: full criminal procedure, full criminal law, and mixtures. And over the last 10 years, they've given us the full gamut. We've gotten some of each. Turns out that if it's criminal procedure, the pattern most commonly tested is the Fourth Amendment. If it's criminal law, the patterns that are most commonly tested are homicide and attempt. And if it's a mixture, they're liable to throw attempt and homicide and Fourth Amendment in there. So basically, the basic patterns, Fourth Amendment, homicide, are the ones that I want to focus on. So I want to start with criminal law. I'm in our Proponics learning environment and going to criminal law. And the pattern I want to focus on is homicide. So crimes against the person, homicide. And what I want to focus on would be the basic elements and specifically the concept of malice. You'll have a factual scenario. Someone will be dead and they'll have defendant or defendants, and the question will be, can the defendant or each of the defendants be convicted of first or second degree murder or any lesser included offense? So where do we start? You should run through and tell them what homicide is, the killing of a human being by another. You're going to have to show actual cause and proximate cause, and then you're going to have to show mens rea. The mens rea is malice. And the big thing is the 4 ways to establish malice. This has to be in your book. Focusing in on the 4 ways to establish malice: intent to kill, intent to do serious bodily harm, wanton depraved heart, and felony murder. What you have to do if you want to find second degree murder, because common law murder is second degree murder. Malice aforethought is malice. And establish malice, it's a killing with malice aforethought. What does that mean? Malice. There are 4 ways to find malice. If you find any of the 4, you have malice aforethought, and that gives you second degree murder. We have a grandmother, and she wants to maybe punish her son-in-law. Maybe son-in-law is living with the mother-in-law and her daughter, and they just recently got married, and son-in-law is not very pleasant to grandma. So grandma decides to teach him a lesson. She's going to punish him a bit by making him sick. So she gets a little bit of rat poison. Just a little bit, not enough in her mind that would kill him. And she puts it into his soup, he eats it, and he dies. Now, can we get grandma for first degree or second degree murder or any lesser included offense? First way we would start is we have to go through all 4 types of malice. Number 1, did grandma intend to kill? No. We've already stipulated she just wanted to make him sick. That was her intent. Then did she intend to do serious bodily harm? Maybe not. She just wanted to make him sick. I guess you can argue that one out, but let's come on the side that no, she wasn't really intending to do serious bodily harm. She just wanted to make him sick. Well, what about wanton depraved heart? Yeah, I think so. If you put rat poison in somebody's soup, I think this would qualify for reckless indifference for the quality of human life. Felony murder, no, she wasn't committing a felony. So you want to go through all 4. If we get any one of the 4, we have second degree murder. In this case, we got wanton depraved heart. Now we have second degree murder. The next question then is whether or not we can elevate this to first degree murder. So what I've done for you here is I've put first degree murder into focus mode. Now remember, step 1, do we have malice? We found malice for grandma, wanton depraved heart, and you could have argued intend to do serious bodily harm. Once we find malice, that means that we can charge and convict Grandma for second-degree murder. The next question is, can we also charge and get her for first-degree murder? And the answer is, you can elevate common law second-degree murder to first-degree murder if you meet one of the three statutory requirements. Number one, is it a felony murder? If so, that would be first degree. Number two, do you find premeditation? And that would have to be considerable premeditation, not just thought of it and then he shot. But you're going to have some preparation there. And then finally, if the crime was committed using poison, torture, bomb, or ambush. Let's go back to Grandma. We found malice, and guess what? She used poison. Therefore, we can get Grandma for second-degree murder, or we can also get her for first-degree murder. So that's that pattern. Now, the next big pattern that I want to go over is the Fourth Amendment. So I'm here in the learning environment, expanding it out. What we want you to do is if you have a Fourth Amendment problem, here is how it's called. There's a motion to suppress certain items of evidence. Motion to suppress the gun, motion to suppress the drugs. First thing that we want you to do is headnote the evidence to be suppressed. So the gun. That's step one. Step two, give some legal premise or rule. The Fourth Amendment, applicable to the states via the 14th, prohibits unreasonable searches and seizures. Try to establish standing, basically a reasonable expectation of privacy. It's a threshold question. The question of, is there a search? There's a search where there's a reasonable expectation of privacy. Now, given that there was a reasonable expectation of privacy, thus a search, the rule is warrantless searches are per se illegal, absent an exception. There will never be a warrant. There'll always be warrantless searches. So what we need is an exception to the requirement of a warrant. Your job then, as it is in every Fourth Amendment problem, is to go through each and every possible exception and analyze whether or not they apply. So I have the exceptions listed up there for you: stop and frisk, consent, exigent circumstance, the automobile exception, search incident to lawful arrest, plain view doctrine. Those are the main ones that are tested. Checkpoints get tested. School children, no, that's not tested. But you need to know each of those exceptions as well. So this is your basic Fourth Amendment pattern. Now I want you to use all of your skill and powers to nail these specific issues down. You see, you're going to be facing a mountain, or you're facing a mountain now in studying for the bar. And it could be massive for you. The question is there a path through the mountain that'll get you there faster? And I think there is. I think that if you nail down key concepts and have those key concepts in your mind, they provide anchor points. And it's onto those anchor points that you could add all your information. It's kind of like Emerson, my favorite quote, do the thing and you will have the power. Now, your job is to figure out exactly what that thing is.